going on, guys? It's Dimitri. I'm here with my 240SX. It's pretty late on a Thursday night, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to start the maintenance program for this car. Now, if you don't know what this car is about, there's a video in your top corner that'll explain where I got it, what it's about. But basically, it's a 1996 240SX. It's got 16,000 miles, and I want to start taking care of it and using it as kind of my little toy car, and we'll figure out what to do with it later. I still don't know what I'm going to do. I am kind of leaning towards a street build, though. We'll see. So what we're going to do today with the 240 is we're going to change out the air filter and change the spark plugs. This will kind of be two basic items that anybody can do, and in case you've never done it on a 240, I hope this will be interesting for you, especially if you have one of these cars and you might be trying to tackle this project on your own. Also, just good experience for any kind of car. This should be very simple. So guys, to get started with this project, as far as replacement parts, all you're going to need are 4 spark plugs. I'm using NGK iridiums. They're the correct temperature, and we'll make sure the gap is correct, but it should be factory gap, same as the ones this plug comes with. And I'll list the model number in the description. I'm also getting a genuine Nissan filter and some anti-seize for the spark plugs. Really simple. So tool-wise, what we're going to need is a 5/8 socket, an extension, and we'll need a 3/8 ratchet. So I say let's start with the air box. There's going to be a clip right here, clip on this side, a clip down here, and just another one right back there. Should be very obvious where it is. This is super easy. Most of you probably know how to do this. So we're going to pop the filter out. And the reason I'm replacing it, I know the filter looks new, but this is like one of those really cheap, couple of dollar filters. Like, it feels so cheap. Like, here's the Nissan filter, here's this thing. Like, what the hell is that? So the new filter, we're just gonna toss right in. Make sure it aligns well. Take a look, make sure the air box is pretty clean. And then when you're putting it back on, make sure you don't misguide your air box. And definitely don't accidentally puncture the filter with like a tab on the air box or anything like that. So you wanna give it a good old jostle to make sure everything's seated real neat. And it is. And then I would just go around and reclip. Very, very easy job. Boom. Air filter replaced. Now let's tackle those pesky spark plugs. First thing first, we're going to pull this boot up. And kind of out. And out here. Just kind of seeing if there's like a bunch of oil or any kind of nasty stuff. So guys, one note of warning, don't get your wires confused. 1 goes to 1, 2 goes to 2, 3 goes to 3, 4 goes to 4. My wires are like OEM numbered. I think they're OEM anyway. It's got Japanese Yazaki something on it. Yours might be aftermarket, or maybe they've faded over time. This car has unusually low mileage. And the reason it's so important to keep everything straight is because your car has a firing order. All cylinders don't fire at the same time. Oh, and guys, don't do what I do by throwing this on top of the header here if you've driven your car. This has been on the lift for 24 hours, so I know it's not hot. All right, so we'll start on removing the spark plugs. So we're gonna put our 5/8 socket with the extension down in here. Be gentle, don't break anything. Make sure you're going the right direction. In our case, we're gonna be going anti-clockwise to remove spark plugs. Wow, and that's why we use the anti-seize, guys. And there you go, guys. There's your spark plug. So I already see a couple of things here, guys. So one, the plug itself looks okay, but there's oil getting all down through the thread. It's not coming from inside the cylinder. It's all down here, and it came through the thread when I was unscrewing it. So what this means is that I have a leaky spark plug well gasket. Normally those things last a while, but this is a 20-something-year-old car now. Even though it doesn't have a lot of miles, these things just rot eventually. So it's good. That's why we do these maintenances. All right, let's pull that bad boy out. And again, guys, we see the same thing. There's no oil inside the plug, but there's oil all up on the thread. The only good news is This valve cover looks so easy to remove, guys. This whole thing is like super serviceable. It's not like the new cars we have today. All right, there's the next one. And again, same deal. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I can see where it's coming through. It's like right there. That's where the gasket's broken. One thing that's easy to do when you have a harder reach, like a farther cylinder, is just take the ratchet off and spin this thing. It's usually very easy going thread. So let's see, guys, are we 4 for 4? Yeah, we sure are. And again, I suspect that over here, where we see that dark spot, is where the gasket failed. So guys, now I want to check the gap on the original plugs just to make sure. I've got 2 feeler gauges at 0.5 millimeter and a little over 0.5 millimeter for a 1.03 millimeter gap check. And that is like right on the money. So that's what we want to see. So now what you want to do is you want to actually check all your other plugs to make sure, all your new ones, that they're the same. So they should all just roughly be about that same gap. So it should feel the same when you put it in there. And so it looks like none of these need to be gapped from the factory, so that's really great. And then guys, if they're not the same, you do need a tool to bend or raise it to make them the right size. I'll show you guys on this old spark plug because I'll throw it out, but if you do need to gap yours, do yourself a huge favor and get this kind of tool, not the little ring with the little thing. It's unusable. So the way that gapping a spark plug works is you kind of go in here, you pick it up, and you can make the gap bigger. If we wanted to gap it tighter, let's use this side, we can just gap it like that. Those stupid ring things, they're crap. Don't use those. You're going to be like pounding on stuff, and it's stupid. I'll show you. I have one. So here's one of the ring ones. First of all, it's not nearly as accurate as a feeler gauge. So when you're using it in here, like, it kind of gives you an idea of what your gauge is. Like wherever it gets stuck, you're like, oh, that's actually, that's so funny. I bent it back almost perfect. Too funny. But then it's still not as accurate as my feeler gauge. And the other issue is, okay, so yeah, you can use it to gap your plug bigger. What do you do to make it smaller? Like there's no like function to do that. So what they tell you is like, we'll just start pushing on it. And you try pushing on a spark plug and getting the gap right. So these are going in the garbage. Hey, what do you guys say we shove a borescope in there? See what it looks like in the cylinders? You guys want to do that? I say let's do it. Okay guys, so I've got my screen here. Okay, and I can already see the leak from that gasket. You see there's a rubber gasket on top of that surface there. So the hole in the middle is the spark plug boss, like where it goes. Above it is where it seats. You can almost see, I wonder if I get closer and then you will be able to see, the piece of rubber. I can't get focused that close, but there's a piece of rubber. That piece of rubber is now bad from the car probably sitting. All right, there's the piston surface. Wow, look how clean that is. I can read numbers on it. Let's go to the next one. And again, we see the exact same thing immediately. Failed gasket. Oh, it's got a little crud on it, but not bad. Let me see if I could change resolution. Maybe I can get a little more image. Okay, there we go. So look, the piston looks really clean. All the edges are super clean. Let's look at number 3. Yeah, so again, failure immediately there in the gasket. And that cylinder looks terrific to me. I don't see any problems, guys. And now the last one. And again, if I'm remembering my firing order, this one should also be up. It's so funny, sometimes I start moving this hand, like that's the one that, because like the image is in that hand. That's how you know you're dumb. Yeah, so see this one's also up a little high. I can't get a real good image on it. But it looks great though. That's amazing, guys. What a clean, uh-oh. What a clean car. Anyhow, let's put those spark plugs back in. So one tool I forgot to mention is gonna be a torque wrench. We're gonna hit at about 18 foot-pounds torque. It's kind of right in the middle of the guideline of 14 to 22 foot-pounds. So we're gonna take this bad boy, we're gonna put them inside our socket. We're gonna apply just a little bead. Just start popping them back in. Then we're gonna pop this bad boy in and make sure you're on the right torque. There we go, that's 18 foot-pounds. There we go. And make sure you don't cross thread. Don't try to use like a power tool on this. Okay, there we go. I have a really good feel for this torque wrench, so sometimes you see me swinging it pretty aggressively. Now it's really simple. We're just plugging the wires back in. Now we're going to take number 3 and then number 4. Let's give this thing a quick crank and make sure it still starts and there's no issues. Beautiful, no misfire, engine sounds great. So guys, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the little maintenance we're doing on the 240. You know, it's nothing really super exciting, I know, but I think it'll help some people who have never done this kind of work on their first car, or maybe you genuinely need help with your 240 and these videos might give you a little assistance. Either way, I'm gonna keep doing them. I'm gonna do a couple more where we're gonna do brakes and a few other things. So guys, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, click like, maybe leave me a nice comment. You're kind of the reason why I do this. I enjoy working on cars and I'd be working on cars anyway, but filming and really dissecting how things work and explaining it to people, it's something I'm really enjoying doing, and you guys watching and commenting and subscribing is the reason I keep wanting to make that content. Otherwise, you know, I would just be working on the car here alone and not showing anybody what I'm doing. So if you do enjoy it, please click like, please subscribe, really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.